Happy Sunday to everyone. So since today is Sunday, we don't have work, so we are going to relax. And for this video, I'm going to teach you, or I'm going to show how to play the King's Indian setup. Okay, so pag-aaralan natin kung paano maglaro ng chess using the King's Indian setup as our opening. Kasi in playing chess, there are three phase in playing chess. The opening part, which is about 10 to 20% of the game, and then there is the middle game and the end game. So the opening part is also very important because it is where how you set up your pieces and your plan in the middle game. The dogs are quarreling. Okay, your plan in the middle game and even in the end game, sometimes it's because how you open the game. So opening is also very important. We need to study how to play chess in the opening part. So basically, the principle of the opening, or the basic opening principles, is just you simply need to develop your piece. Knight first before bishop, because knight is shorter range. Okay, develop your piece and then control the center, just like this one. These four squares, these are the most important squares in chess. It's very important that you have control over that squares. Okay, so like that, and then put your king into safety. So those are the basic opening principle. Develop your pieces, control the most important idea in the opening part of the game. So in this setup, it is known as Gyoko piano game. Okay, Gyoko piano, right? So but in the intermediate level, sometimes your opponent is so good in controlling the center. They are good in controlling that one. So for this morning, I'm going to teach you how to play the King's Indian setup. This is not an opening for the beginner. This opening is for the intermediate level above. So advanced level like the grandmasters, even the super grandmasters like Hikaru Nakamura, Magnus Carlsen, they also sometimes they play the King's Indian setup. This is also Bobby Fischer's favorite opening, the King's Indian attack and the King's Indian defense. So I'm going to share to you what I learned on how to play this opening. So basically, the King's Indian setup is primarily an opening for black against e4. So let's start. If our color is black, if our piece is black, how to play the King's Indian defense first, because King's Indian setup is composed of two opening, the two or more. We have the King's Indian defense if you are playing black, and the King's Indian attack if you are playing white. We have also the Pirc defense as black and white. So we have also Nimzo Indian, so many variation of the King's Indian setup. But let's talk first how to play the King's Indian setup against e4. So if your opponent is playing e4, so as black, you have to respond with this move. This King's Indian setup is known as Pirc defense or Pirc defense. So this pawn is not following the basic opening principle to control the center. Okay, he has only one square controlled in this 4 important square, and white can move like this. Okay, so let's go back. So the point of this move, no, wait, so if ever you play e4 and you move this one, the point of this move is you are just preventing this pawn to move forward. That's it. Then let's start with the classical Pirc defense. So after that move, sometimes or oftentimes your opponent will play move like this, and then you go with knight f6, okay, attacking this pawn. That is the basic, that is the main line of the Pirc defense. If your opponent is careless and will simply play this move because he is applying the principle of the opening to control the center, you can take this pawn for free. So you're one pawn up already in the opening. Okay, so but after you play this one, since you are now in the intermediate level, your opponent will always play move like this to defend the pawn. Okay, you can go with this move, and then for example he will play this one, you can move like this. So this is the, okay, for example if your opponent will move here, you can castle castle. Okay, so then after that one, you can play, you may attack this knight into the queen, or if you don't like, you can play here and then knight here. It's up to you. Okay, so that is the Pirc defense. Okay, again, let's go back. Okay, so after e4, d6. Okay, example, he will play this move. Okay, you just develop here. Okay, so this is the classic Pirc defense, classical variation of the Pirc defense. Now let's go to some tricks of this opening. So sometimes your opponent will simply play move like this. Okay, this is known as the I don't know what kind of variation of the Pirc is this. It's not the 150 attack, and it is not, I'm not sure if this is the 150 attack. You can move this pawn, and then for example if he castle, okay, you can attack that knight, then the knight and the bishop moves back, you can attack the knight. If the knight go anywhere, when the knight moves to whatever square, okay, for example if the knight move here, you can take the pawn for free. Okay, that is one of the tricks. Okay, so let's try another trick. If you are playing the Pirc defense, so if your opponent plays e4, you respond with this move, then this one, okay, knight f6, and then for example he will defend this pawn, he will move this. Okay, so go for your castle or your fortress. Okay, so for example we'll move this one here. Okay, we already see if this one will, if this bishop will be in that square, you can push this pawn, attack the bishop, attack the knight. After the knight moves away, you can take this pawn for free. But if your opponent is playing other move, like for example this one, So you just you can have this trick also. Sometimes I also play this trick. You can push this pawn here. Okay, just like that. Sometimes your opponent will be tempted to capture this. Okay, so do not capture it yet. Do not capture it back. Move your queen in this square. Okay, put your queen here. The point of this move is you are going to pin the knight to the king. So for example, if your opponent is tempted to capture another pawn like this, you can grab the pawn here. The knight cannot take because it is pinned to the king. Okay, so after that one, your opponent might be tempted to capture another pawn. Okay, if that happens, you can simply take the knight. Okay, don't worry about this check. It will not happen because there's queen protecting that square. Okay, so if your opponent takes back the knight, you can capture with the queen. Do not capture with the bishop. If you capture with the bishop, your opponent will just, and then you cannot take the rook because it is pinned to your queen. So the best way is to capture with the queen, and it's a double attack, the king and rook. So it's a fork. If your opponent will play this, if your opponent will play queen d2, you can capture the rook, but you will be checkmated here. So be careful. Sometimes your opponent will play that move to trick you. If you are greedy to capture the rook, you will be checkmated. You will lose in one move. Okay, so if he will play this move, the best way to, your move must be, you have to capture the queen, and it's a check. So after the king or the bishop will take whatever piece that will take your queen, you will simply grab the rook on the next move. Okay, so for example, he will play that move, then simply grab the rook. So look at the evaluation bar. Black is completely winning. So maybe he will castle, put your bishop to safety, and then you can develop your knight here. If he will defend that pawn, you can grab that pawn later. So that is one of the tricks in the classical. Okay, what if let's have another, let's recall, wait again. So basically our opening is just, our setup is just like this. This is our only setup. This one here, pawn, then castle, just like that. So another trick, so for example, we'll move e4, then you respond with d6. Okay, if you will do this, you go for castling. Okay, just like this one. If you will do move or whatever, square the bishop. Okay, for example, if the bishop you will put here, so we already tackle this idea of pushing this pawn to capture this, push this pawn, attack that bishop, attack that knight, and then grab this pawn for free. But we can also still play this move like this, and then if he capture, you play queen a5, queen a5. If he will be tempted to capture, then this one, if you capture with the queen, this time it's a threefold fork. Okay, so if he will if if he will put the bishop here to cover the check, you can grab this for free, the bishop, or you can grab the rook. Okay, for example, you can take the rook, then since the queen is pinned to the king, you will capture that queen later, so it's a free rook. If you will capture, you capture, black is completely winning. Okay, so what if he will move like this here? Wait, before that, what if he will move here? So you can push again. This is the trick. If he tempted to capture, okay, so capture. If he will take, so you take with the queen. Don't be careless. If he will play move like this, do not grab the rook because there's a checkmate here. So the best way is grab the queen first and then grab the rook next. Okay, so what if he will, after this move, will cover with the bishop? You can grab. Okay, so you need not to worry this check anymore because of this bishop. So you can grab the rook for free like that, and black is completely winning. So those are the tricks, some of the tricks. Sometimes your opponent will also fall into this another trick. Okay, for example, here, this one, and then here, just like this. I always play this move, this one. If there's a pawn here, I will play this move. If there's no pawn in that square, I will just put my pawn here to open up my queen for some attack in this rank, in the 5th rank. Okay, so for example, I play this, and then suddenly my opponent made that one, so I cannot move. I can move again my pawn, but it's not good in the opening to move your pieces twice. So after that one, I can play this move, or I can play also this move. Okay, so for example, play this move. Sometimes your opponent will wait. Okay, I will play this move. Let's tackle that move first. Sometimes your opponent will play move like this also, pinning also your knight, so you can move your knight, the other knight, to protect. And then sometimes they will push this pawn to attack your bishop. Okay, so if we move that one, you can take the knight, you will take with the queen, it's okay, or you can just move back, put your bishop here, this pawn here for the safety. Okay, so but sometimes your opponent will play move like this. I have a trick here. I will put my queen in this square to attack this bishop. So for example, my opponent is careless and he simply castle, so the tactic is take the defender of that bishop. Okay, so if he takes back with the bishop, because it's nice to be in this diagonal, you can grab the other bishop for free. Okay, so what if after that one, okay, and he's careless, you take this one and he takes your knight first, you can go take the bishop, attacking the queen. So of course you will take with the queen, and you can grab this bishop by your whatever pawn you like, or you can take it with the knight. So in this situation, we are one piece up. So those are some of my tricks. Those are some of my tricks in the Pirc defense. Okay, so let's move on to the King's Indian setup. So again, the Pirc defense will is just like whatever the white plays. For example, he will play the English opening, so he will just play this move. Okay, for example, whatever opening the black do, this will be our setup. Whatever opening the white, your opponent as white will play, this is our setup. This is known as the King's Indian setup. In this case, Pirc defense because of this e4. Okay, so whatever. Can we play it if you are white? Yes, of course. But before that, what if your opponent will start with d4 instead of e4? You can still play this move. For example, he likes the London system. Okay, just go on with the plan. Okay, this is the London setup for white. Okay, or maybe this one here, maybe here. So just castle. The tricks of moving this pawn sometimes doesn't work because there is no pawn on the e4. Okay, so but still our setup is just the same for whatever move the white player will do. Our setup is always like this. So this one can go here, and I can jump here or whatever you like. If you don't like to play your bishop in this diagonal, for example, he will put the pawn here, so you cannot play this move. You can put this bishop in this diagonal. Okay, double pianquito. For example, we'll move this, move that one, so the knight is free to move. So your pieces is developed, then eventually later on you will strike the center. That center strike is very important. For example, he castle. Okay, and then you move here, develop his piece. You can strike the center. Takes. Example, he will take this one, so take his knight. After he capture. Okay, so you can capture also. Okay, so same idea. Whatever your opponent will play, you play this move again and again, so to whatever move your opponent, that will be our response to whatever, against all the attack of the white pieces. Okay, what if after e4 and you play this one, and then for example your opponent will play this like this. If he will push this one, because there is a pawn here, it's a mistake for white to play this one. Okay, example, he will play that move. You will simply capture that pawn, because this pawn, the purpose of this is to prevent that pawn from pushing, but he keep on pushing. Capture, then he will take back, just grab the queen. Okay, so he can no longer castle. You can jump here, attacking that pawn and that pawn. So it's a fork. So for example, he will defend that pawn by playing this, or maybe this, or maybe that. You can, okay, for example, he will so intermediate player will not play this because he will grab that and then it's a double pawn. Sometimes he will play move like this. Yeah, so you can grab this pawn for free. So it's good for black. Okay, so that's it. Can we play this move if we are white? Yes, of course we can. Okay, let's try. Okay, for example, we are playing white. Okay, so since we are white, we are going to move first. Sometimes I move this first, then this one, this one, this one. Just the same. So let's play this move to whatever black will do. Like for example, black will control the center. You will simply do it, okay, just like this one, here, capture, just like in the black, capture, then forking these two. If you will defend it like this, so you can simply grab it. It's good for white. Okay, so how about this move? Yeah, you can move this first if you like. So for example, he will play that one, so you play this. Example, he will defend that pawn, play this one. Example, move this just like that. Just like this is the classical variation, but we are white. So after this move, let's continue with our trick here. Capture. If he's tempted to capture, put your queen here, just like a while ago when we are playing black. So if he will be tempted to capture that one, we can take this pawn for free. He cannot take with the knight because it's pinned to the king. Okay, so if he will be tempted to capture again, you simply capture that. He cannot checkmate you here because of the queen. The queen is still protecting, just the same. If he will take with the pawn, take with the queen. If he cover with the queen, do not grab the rook because there's a checkmate here. You can simply take the queen and then grab the rook. Okay, so after this move, takes, if you cover with the bishop, so no need to worry of this check. You can grab the rook for free after the queen takes, so white is winning. Okay, same idea when we are playing black. Okay, how about the other tricks? Okay, move this. Oh, wait. How about the other tricks? For example, you move this one here. Okay, so for example, he defend it, move this one, then here, and sometimes he will play move like this. You can push this pawn, attack the bishop. So when the bishop moves back, you can attack the knight. After the knight go anywhere, you can grab this pawn for free, just like when we are playing black. So okay, so that's it. So that's how you play the King's Indian setup, at least based on what I've learned. But there are so many lines and variations of the King's Indian setup. So many lines in Pirc defense. There are so many variation. King's Indian defense. By the way, King's Indian defense is when your opponent move d4 on the first move, and you can set up your pieces like this. Okay, for example, this one, then here, just like that, and then so that is the King's Indian defense. Just the same with the Pirc defense. Those are all King's Indian setup. So there are so many variations for that. For Pirc defense, we have the 150 attack, we have the classical variation, we have the burn variation, we have the Austrian attack. Okay, so many lines to learn if you want to play the King's Indian setup. If you want to play the King's Indian attack, by the way, is this move when you are playing white. So you play this, that one, just like this. Okay, so this is known as the King's Indian attack. King's Indian setup as white. King's Indian attack. In King's Indian attack, there are so many variations, so many lines to remember. So when you want to play an opening, you need to study more the different games, the different lines, the main lines, the side lines. That's why I always play the Scandinavian and the Vienna game, because in Scandinavian defense, only few lines, kunti lang ang dapat aralin. If it is Scandinavian, you just play your tactics. It's more on tactics if it is Scandinavian. But when you go for King's Indian setup, it is a positional play. So many lines to remember, but at least you have some idea. Okay, so this time we are going to play blitz at chess.com, and we will play the King's Indian setup. So if we are playing black, we will do, if our opponent will play d4, if the opponent will play d4, we will do the King's Indian defense. Okay, if our opponent will play e4, we will play the Pirc defense. Okay, if we are white, then we will always start with this move, the King's Indian attack, King's Indian setup. Okay, just like that, London setup. So this is Indian game already. Okay, so as I said, this will be our setup to whatever opening. So we cannot, I can still play this trick, our tricks. Then I'll queen here. Okay, so it's different. Let's take that pawn and then this queen, and let's move here. Let's move here. You can always go back. Our opponent is rated 126. That's why our opponent is very strong. Let's castle. Actually, he can no longer castle. We cannot take this one. It's defended. Wait. 1, 2 defender. We have 1, 2, 3 attackers. So we can actually grab that pawn for free. Okay. Take back. Okay, we are 1 pawn up now. So rook. Okay, so let's defend. Where are you going here? Let's attack the knight. We have 3 defenders. 1, 2, 3, 4. So many attackers. Okay, but since our defender is a pawn, none of this attacker can take that pawn. Ooh, I need to take this one to double up his pawn. We are about to go to the... We are about to move in game. How about this move? And I will take the knight. Maybe later. Take this. Okay, so 4 pawns. We have 5 pawns. We still up 1 pawn in this case. He's attacking this one. Let's defend. I can put my bishop here to distract. Okay, can push this one. Let's defend this pawn, and and he is now attacking my in King's Indian attack. There are so many variations, so many lines to remember. So when you want to play an opening, we'll play d4. We will do the King's Indian defense. Okay, if our opponent will play e4, we will play the Pirc defense. Okay, 3 minutes blitz at chess.com. We are playing black. Okay, let's play the King's Indian setup. Queen's pawn opening. So we have here opponent is going for the London system, London setup. So this is Indian game already. Okay, so as I said, this will be our setup to whatever opening. So we cannot I can still play this trick, our tricks. Then I queen here, so it's different. Let's take that pawn and then this queen, and let's move here. Let's move here. You can always go back. Our opponent is very strong. Our opponent is rated 1526. Let's castle. Actually, he can no longer castle. We cannot take this one. It's defended. Wait. 2 defender. We have 1. Where are you going here? Let's attack the knight. We have 3 defenders. 1, 2, 3, 4. So many attackers. Okay, but since our defender is a pawn, none of this attacker can take that pawn. Ooh, I need to take this one to double up his pawn. We are about to go to the in-game. How about this move? And I will take the knight. Maybe later. Take this. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 pawns. We have 5 pawns. We still up 1 pawn in this case. He's attacking this one. Let's defend. I can put my bishop here to distract. Okay, this one. Let's defend this pawn. And he is now attacking my bishop. Let's move it, guys. This is a passed pawn. Okay. Okay, let's attack that pawn. I think I have to... I need to activate my king. We are in the end game now. Like this. Here, attacking this pawn. Check. Let's take this. How about that? Capture this one. Defend. We are in the in-game situation. We have majority of pawn in this side, so hopefully we can win this war. In this one, I can even pre-move because this is our only setup against any opponent's opening. I can put my knight here. Yeah. And then he will attack my knight. He will attack my knight. I will just go back. Our piece. We cannot play this one, as I said. Here. Attacking. Our opponent from the United States of America is rated 1533, and he is now attacking my knight here. Okay, if he attack or move here, then we can go back to that safe square. We can eat. Let's attack. We are attacking the rook bishop. Let's capture that bishop. And then I think we need to castle now for safety. We always have this safe square. For safety's sake. Now we need to strike the center. If you will put, I can now defend that pawn using my rook, because this is queen. However, not possible. I will just take it. He can also, he has to move. This is also a nice idea, but there's a queen protecting that square. Okay, so how about this move and then check there. He moves. I will take this rook. I will let him take this. Okay. Let's try. I will check. I will let him take that one. Then I will check here. Then I will grab this rook. Skewer. But I will just takes. Oh! Free rook. Free rook. It's skewer. I hope he will resign. Please resign. Please resign. I'm winning. Yes! So 2 games in a row. So we are playing the King's Indian setup. Okay, let's move on to the new game. Our rating now is 1517. Because we also lose many times. So we are playing white. King's Indian setup. Old Indian attack. Chess.com call this openings Riti opening, King's Indian attack, Yugoslav variation. Okay, then I can put my knight bishop here, pinning the knight. No tricks like that, no, because there is no pawn on this square. How about here? Later, let's develop our piece. This one, strike the center. We have 1, 2, 3 defenders, 1, 2, 3 attackers. Okay, later, let's put our rook in the center of the board. Maybe I will grab this one and I will play this move. Remove. Already a rook controlling this file. Attacker 1, 2. Don't take it. Why? Because there's a rook. The black rook is in the same for queen, and it's not good to take that. I want to put my knight in this square. How? How to put our knight here? This is the way, but there's a pawn here. There's a pawn. It's impossible as of now. Okay, let's play this move. I want to double my rook here. Not possible right now. Let's attack. The other knight can move here. That is our knight maneuver. I can kick that knight later on. Capture. Kick that knight out and I will grab that bishop. This is defended, right? So let's attack that knight. Then, okay, let's capture. Let's grab the bishop for free. Here, not possible. I will take the rook. I mean the knight. Please resign. You're down already. Please resign. My opponent will not resign. We should not be greedy. We will put back our queen here. But he is attacking. How about this move? We will take that. Okay, so takes no. I don't like to take that one. It will open up the file. Keep on pushing that. Where are you going now? Check. Let's exchange the queen. Okay, capture. We are one piece up. And then let's grab this other pawn here. Okay. We can put our rook there. Bishop here. I think we are winning, guys. Just like that one. And push this. Yes, push. We'll take this pawn. Okay, we are now attacking place for my okay, let's defend. Check. Check. Let's take this pawn later. Capture. I have this check. Or maybe this one. This one is a nice move. You cannot go here. Not. Maybe he will sacrifice the rook. Sacrifice the rook. Please resign. Please. Please resign. Please resign. I can also play this one. Okay, game abandoned. So many threat now, 1526. This is our rating or opponent's rating.